Meal replacement shakes promise convenience and complete nutrition for seniors. No cooking, easy protein, simple digestion. But behind those smooth bottles hide heavy metals, hidden sugars, and ingredients that spike blood pressure, strain kidneys, and clash with heart medications. Today, we expose 9 shakes you must avoid and reveal the 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we have Ensure Original. Ensure has been the gold standard in senior nutrition for decades. Hospitals recommend it. Doctors prescribe it. Your own family probably handed you a bottle after a surgery or illness. The label promises complete, balanced nutrition designed specifically for adults who need extra support. It sounds like the safest choice on the shelf. But here is what Abbott Laboratories does not want you to know. Independent laboratory testing has revealed alarming levels of heavy metals in Ensure products. We are talking about lead, cadmium, and arsenic. These are toxic substances that accumulate in your body over time. A 2020 Clean Label Project study tested dozens of protein and meal replacement products. Ensure ranked among the worst offenders for heavy metal contamination. These are not trace amounts. These are levels that, consumed daily over months or years, can contribute to kidney damage, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular stress. Now consider this reality. Seniors are the primary consumers of Ensure. Many drink 1 or 2 bottles every single day, sometimes for years on end. Your kidneys are already working harder as you age. Adding a daily dose of cadmium and lead forces them to filter toxins they were never designed to handle at that volume. If you are on blood pressure medication or diuretics, the strain compounds dangerously. Your body simply cannot keep up with the toxic load. Then there is the sugar content hiding in plain sight. A single bottle of Ensure Original contains around 15 grams of sugar. That is nearly 4 teaspoons in one small drink. For seniors managing diabetes or pre-diabetes, this is a blood sugar spike waiting to happen. The label says complete nutrition, but what it delivers is a sugar bomb wrapped in medical-sounding branding. The texture feels smooth going down. The vanilla flavor tastes familiar, almost comforting, but that creamy consistency masks what your tongue cannot detect. Industrial additives, synthetic vitamins your body struggles to absorb, and those invisible heavy metals settling into your tissues with every single sip you take. Abbott made over $8 billion in nutritional product sales in 2022 alone. They have the resources to source cleaner ingredients, to test more rigorously, to reformulate for safety. Instead, they keep selling the same product to the same vulnerable population, trusting that the medical establishment endorsement will keep bottles moving off shelves. You trusted Ensure because your doctor trusted it. But doctors do not run independent heavy metal tests. They rely on FDA approvals and corporate safety claims. And the FDA? Their testing protocols for heavy metals in nutritional supplements are shockingly outdated. Products can pass federal standards and still contain contamination levels that European regulators would never allow on their shelves. Why do you think the FDA permits brands to use ingredients and contamination thresholds banned in other countries? It is a question worth asking every time you reach for that familiar bottle. Ensure promise to nourish you. Instead, it may be slowly poisoning the very organs you are trying to protect. At number 8, we have SlimFast. SlimFast built an empire on weight loss dreams. The commercials showed happy, slim people shaking bottles and dropping dress sizes effortlessly. For seniors looking to shed a few pounds or manage their weight without complicated diets, SlimFast seemed like an easy answer. 1 shake for breakfast, 1 for lunch, a sensible dinner. Simple, effective, safe, except it is none of those things. Let us start with what SlimFast actually contains. A single original SlimFast shake packs around 18 grams of sugar. That is more than 4 teaspoons of sugar in a drink marketed specifically for weight loss. For seniors with diabetes, insulin resistance, or metabolic syndrome, this is not a diet aid. It is a metabolic disaster waiting to happen. Your blood sugar spikes dramatically. Your pancreas scrambles to produce insulin. The crash that follows leaves you hungrier than before, reaching for more food, defeating the entire purpose of the shake. But the sugar is just the beginning of the problems. SlimFast products have tested positive for concerning levels of heavy metals, including lead and cadmium. The Clean Label Project, which independently tests consumer products for safety, gave SlimFast some of the lowest safety ratings in the entire meal replacement category. These are toxins that do not flush out of your system quickly. They accumulate in bones, kidneys, and brain tissue over time. For seniors already dealing with age-related kidney decline, adding a daily cadmium load is like asking a tired engine to run on contaminated fuel. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment gone wrong. Maltodextrin, a cheap filler that spikes blood sugar faster than table sugar itself. Artificial flavors designed in laboratories to trick your brain into thinking you are consuming something nutritious. Carrageenan, a thickening agent linked to gastrointestinal inflammation in multiple studies. If you have digestive issues, irritable bowel syndrome, or chronic gut sensitivity, Carrageenan can trigger flare-ups that leave you bloated, cramping, and miserable for hours. SlimFast tastes sweet and goes down easy. The chocolate flavor mimics a milkshake from your childhood. The strawberry version feels like a treat you deserve. But that pleasant taste is engineered deception. Your taste buds register reward, while your organs register stress and damage. Here is the real betrayal of trust. SlimFast markets itself as a health product designed to help you. The packaging features fit, energetic people living their best lives. The messaging promises transformation and a better you. But transformation into what exactly? A body burdened with heavy metals? A pancreas exhausted from sugar spikes? Kidneys filtering toxins they should never have encountered in the first place? Seniors are particularly vulnerable because meal replacement shakes often become daily staples, not occasional supplements. You drink them consistently, trusting that consistency builds health. Instead, consistent SlimFast consumption builds toxic accumulation in your vital organs. The company knows its customer base includes older adults managing chronic conditions. They know seniors are more likely to have compromised kidney function, heart disease, and medication regimens that interact poorly with synthetic additives. And yet the formula remains unchanged, the sugar content remains sky-high, and the heavy metal contamination persists year after year. Most people never learn how to fix this problem, but we will break it down at the very end of the video. Now at number 7, we have Boost Original. Boost positions itself as Ensure's friendly competitor in the market. Same promises, same target audience of seniors who need convenient nutrition. The bottles line the same pharmacy shelves. The labels make the same claims about vitamins, minerals, and protein content. Nestle, the corporate giant behind Boost, has the resources and reputation to deliver something genuinely safe for seniors. They have not delivered on that promise. Boost Original contains 20 grams of sugar per bottle. That is 5 full teaspoons of sugar in a single serving, marketed to people managing diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic conditions. Nestle knows exactly who buys Boost products. They know seniors are the core customer demographic, and yet they load each bottle with enough sugar to destabilize blood glucose levels for hours after consumption. But wait, sugar is not even the most disturbing part of this story. Independent testing has flagged Boost products for heavy metal contamination, including lead. BPA, or bisphenol A, is an endocrine disruptor that interferes with hormone function throughout the body. For seniors, disrupted hormones can mean worsened thyroid conditions, increased cardiovascular risk, and complications with existing medications you depend on. Your endocrine system is already more fragile at 60, 70, or 80 years old. Adding BPA exposure through a daily health shake is sabotage disguised as nutritional support. The taste of Boost is deliberately engineered to feel wholesome and comforting. The vanilla is mild and pleasant. The chocolate is smooth and satisfying. The consistency coats your mouth in a way that feels nourishing and safe. But that sensation is manufactured by food scientists. Flavor chemists design these profiles to trigger satisfaction signals in your brain, while the actual ingredients work against your body behind the scenes. Consider the corn syrup solids listed prominently in the ingredients. This is another form of sugar, processed and concentrated, designed to be cheap for the manufacturer and harmful for you. It spikes blood sugar rapidly, strains insulin response, and contributes to the inflammation that underlies heart disease, arthritis, and cognitive decline in aging adults. Nestle generated over $90 billion in revenue in 2022. They own hundreds of brands across every food category imaginable. They have research facilities, nutritional scientists, and the capital to create genuinely healthy products for vulnerable populations. Instead, they sell seniors sugar water fortified with synthetic vitamins and contaminated with industrial chemicals. The bottle says complete nutrition on the label. Complete for whom exactly? Certainly not for someone managing hypertension who does not need the sodium content. Not for someone with kidney disease who cannot process the heavy metals safely. Not for someone with diabetes who cannot afford the sugar spike every single day. Boost betrays your trust in the most insidious way possible. It wears the costume of medical nutrition while delivering junk food in liquid form. Number 6 on our list is Herbalife Formula 1. Herbalife operates differently than pharmacy brands you see on store shelves. It is sold through independent distributors, often friends or family members who genuinely believe they are helping you improve your health. The personal connection makes Herbalife feel trustworthy and safe. Someone you know handed you that canister. They told you it changed their life completely. They promised it would change yours too. But Herbalife's history tells a much darker story. The company has faced multiple FDA warnings, lawsuits, and regulatory scrutiny over product safety issues. Reports have linked Herbalife products to liver damage. This is a devastating outcome for seniors whose livers are already working harder to metabolize multiple medications. A 2020 Journal of Hepatology review examined cases of liver injury associated with Herbalife consumption. consumption. The pattern was disturbingly clear. People who consumed Herbalife products regularly showed elevated liver enzymes and, in severe cases, acute hepatotoxicity requiring hospitalization. Imagine this scenario playing out in your life. You start drinking Herbalife shakes because you want more energy, better nutrition, easier weight management. Months later, your doctor notices troubling liver enzyme levels in your routine blood work. You have not changed medications. You have not started drinking alcohol. The only new variable is that daily shake you trusted to improve your health. The ingredient list raises immediate red flags for anyone paying attention. Herbalife products contain soy protein isolate, which some research links to thyroid disruption when consumed in large quantities over time. For seniors on thyroid medication, this interaction can destabilize carefully managed hormone levels without warning. Suddenly, your medication dose seems wrong. Your energy fluctuates unpredictably. Your doctor adjusts your prescription, completely unaware that a meal replacement shake is the hidden culprit causing your problems. Herbalife also loads its shakes with fructose, artificial sweeteners, and a cocktail of synthetic vitamins that your body processes differently than nutrients from real food sources. The sweetness tastes natural enough. The texture blends smoothly into milk or water. But your liver does not care about taste. It cares about the chemical load it has to process every single day. The multi-level marketing structure adds another troubling layer of harm. Distributors are not nutritionists with medical training. They are salespeople incentivized to move product and recruit others. They repeat company talking points without understanding the underlying science. They cannot warn you about liver risks or thyroid interactions because they simply do not know the dangers exist. They trust the brand the same way you do. Herbalife has paid hundreds of millions in legal settlements over the years. They have been investigated by the FTC. They have been sued by consumers who suffered serious health consequences, and yet the products remain on the market, sold through personal networks that bypass traditional retail scrutiny and regulation. Do you think recalls and lawsuits are just accidents, or are they just the ones they actually got caught on? If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free and it means you will never miss these exposés. Coming in at number 5, we have Premier Protein. Premier Protein shakes dominate the protein drink market by a wide margin. You see them stacked high in Costco warehouses. They fill refrigerator cases at Target and Walmart locations nationwide. The branding emphasizes high protein, low sugar, and convenient nutrition on every bottle. For seniors trying to maintain muscle mass and manage weight, Premier Protein seems like the smart choice backed by science. The reality is far more complicated and troubling. Premier Protein has been hit with multiple class action lawsuits alleging that the product contains significantly less protein than advertised on the label. Independent testing found that some batches contained only a fraction of the labeled 30 grams. You think you are getting the protein your muscles need to prevent age-related decline. Instead, you are paying premium prices for a product that underdelivers on its core promise. But inaccurate labeling is just one problem with this brand. Consumer complaints have flooded online forums describing severe gastrointestinal distress after drinking Premier Protein shakes. Bloating, cramping, nausea, and diarrhea appear repeatedly in reviews across multiple platforms. The culprit appears to be the artificial sweeteners and thickening agents used to create that smooth, creamy texture consumers expect. Sucralose, the primary sweetener in the formula, has been shown in some studies to disrupt gut bacteria balance significantly. For seniors with sensitive digestive systems or existing gastrointestinal conditions, this disruption can trigger painful flare-ups lasting hours or even days. The taste of Premier Protein is engineered to be nearly addictive. The chocolate caramel flavor tastes like dessert in a bottle. The vanilla version mimics a creamy milkshake. Your brain registers pleasure while your gut registers distress and inflammation. The disconnect keeps you buying because the taste feels good even when your body feels bad afterward. Heavy metal testing has also raised serious concerns about this brand. Premier Protein, like many protein-based products, has shown detectable levels of lead and cadmium in testing. These metals concentrate in protein powders and shakes because they accumulate in the plants and dairy sources used as raw ingredients. The manufacturing process does not remove them effectively. Instead, it concentrates them into every bottle you drink. Premier Protein sells itself on convenience and muscle support for active adults. The packaging shows fit, active people enjoying life. The marketing targets health-conscious consumers who want quick nutrition without cooking elaborate meals. But what you actually receive is a potentially mislabeled product loaded with gut-disrupting sweeteners and heavy metal contamination. For seniors, muscle maintenance is genuinely important for health and longevity. Sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, increases fall risk, reduces mobility, and shortens lifespan significantly. You need protein from quality sources, but you need clean protein from trustworthy sources, not a product facing lawsuits for lying about what is actually inside the bottle. Stick around. The solution is coming at the very end. At number 4, we have Soylent. Soylent entered the market with a bold promise that captured attention. Complete nutrition in a bottle, designed to replace meals entirely and optimize human performance. The branding appeals to efficiency-minded consumers who want optimal nutrition without the hassle of cooking or meal planning. For seniors who live alone, struggle with meal preparation, or simply want nutritional convenience, Soylent seems revolutionary. But revolution does not mean safety for consumers. Soylent has a documented history of making consumers violently sick. In 2016, the company recalled its food bars after widespread reports of nausea, vomiting, and severe diarrhea from customers. Customers described violent gastrointestinal episodes that sent some directly to emergency rooms for treatment. The company investigated the problem but never conclusively identified the cause of these illnesses. They simply reformulated the product and kept selling. Think about that situation carefully. A company sells a product that makes hundreds of people violently ill, cannot explain why it happened, and continues operations with a new formula anyway. How confident should you feel that the new formula is actually safe for daily consumption? The ingredient list reveals potential problems for discerning consumers. Soylent relies heavily on soy protein isolate, maltodextrin, and a blend of synthetic vitamins and minerals. Soy protein isolate, when consumed regularly over time, has been linked to digestive discomfort and potential thyroid effects in some individuals. Maltodextrin spikes blood sugar faster than table sugar itself. This is a serious concern for seniors managing diabetes or pre-diabetes conditions. Soylent also contains sunflower oil and canola oil as primary fat sources in the formula. These industrial seed oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which promote inflammation when consumed in excess over time. Chronic inflammation underlies virtually every age-related disease affecting seniors. Heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and cancer all share inflammation as a root cause. A daily Soylent habit means a daily dose of inflammatory fats your body does not need. The texture of Soylent is deliberately neutral and inoffensive. It tastes like nothing in particular. Slightly sweet, vaguely creamy, unremarkable overall. This blandness is intentional design. The company wants you to drink it without thinking, to make it as routine as drinking water every day. But routine consumption of inflammatory oils, blood sugar spiking carbohydrates, and synthetic nutrients is not health optimization. It is slow deterioration disguised as efficiency. Soylent's marketing primarily targets busy professionals and tech workers who view food as a problem to solve with technology. But the senior market has discovered it too, attracted by the convenience and the promise of complete nutrition in every bottle. What they find is a product with a recall history, questionable ingredients, and a corporate philosophy that treats food as engineering rather than nourishment. Your body is not a machine waiting for optimized inputs from a lab. It is a living system that responds to real food in ways synthetic formulas simply cannot replicate. What is the worst meal replacement shake you have ever tried? Drop it in the comments below. Now at number 3, we have Orgain Organic Nutritional Shake. Orgain carries the word organic right in its brand name. The branding is clean, natural, and reassuring to health-conscious consumers. The packaging features earthy colors and promises of wholesome ingredients sourced responsibly. For seniors who want to avoid artificial additives and synthetic chemicals, Orgain seems like the obvious safe choice. Organic means safe and healthy, right? Not necessarily, as it turns out. Orgain products have tested positive for heavy metals, including lead and cadmium, despite the organic certification proudly displayed on packaging. Organic farming does not prevent heavy metal contamination of crops. Metals exist in soil, water, and air throughout the environment. They concentrate in plants regardless of farming practices used. And when those plants become ingredients in protein shakes, the metals concentrate further in the final product. A consumer lab report found that some Orgain products contained lead levels that exceeded California's Proposition 65 limits for safe consumption. Proposition 65 exists specifically to warn consumers about products containing chemicals known to cause cancer, birth defects, or reproductive harm. When an organic health product triggers Proposition 65 warnings, something is deeply wrong with that product. The sugar content in organ shakes is another hidden concern for seniors. While lower than some competitors, a single serving still contains around 10 to 12 grams of sugar, depending on the variety chosen. For seniors monitoring blood glucose carefully, this adds up quickly, especially when consumed daily as a meal replacement over months or years. Oregon also uses brown rice protein as a primary ingredient, which independent testing has shown to be particularly susceptible to arsenic contamination. Arsenic accumulates in rice because of how the plant absorbs nutrients from flooded paddies during growth. Organic rice is not exempt from this contamination. The arsenic levels in some organ products have raised significant concerns among consumer advocacy groups. The taste of Orgain feels genuinely more natural than synthetic competitors. The chocolate flavor comes from actual cocoa ingredients. The texture is less artificially smooth than other brands. Your taste buds register something closer to real food when you drink it, but that authentic taste creates false confidence in the product. You assume that if it tastes natural, it must be safe for consumption. Meanwhile, invisible heavy metals accumulate in your system with every bottle you drink. Organ charges premium prices for its organic positioning in the marketplace. Consumers pay more because they believe organic means cleaner, safer, healthier products. Instead, they receive a product with heavy metal contamination that matches or exceeds conventional competitors, just with a higher price tag and greener packaging design. The organic label is a marketing tool, not a safety guarantee for consumers. Regulatory standards for heavy metals in organic products are no stricter than for conventional products. The certification process does not test for lead, cadmium, or arsenic contamination. It tests for pesticide residues and farming practices only. Metals slip through because the system was never designed to catch them. Number 2 on our list is Atkins Shakes. Atkins built its brand on low-carb promises that captured the imagination of dieters everywhere. The diet revolution of the early 2000s made Atkins a household name, and the shakes followed as convenient extensions of the low-carb lifestyle. For seniors trying to manage blood sugar, reduce carbohydrate intake, or lose weight, Atkins shakes seem perfectly aligned with legitimate health goals. The reality tells a different and troubling story. Atkins shakes achieve their low-carb profile through artificial sweeteners, primarily sucralose and acesulfame potassium. These synthetic sweeteners create sweetness without carbohydrates, but they come with their own significant risks. Sucralose has been shown in some studies to alter gut bacteria composition substantially, potentially disrupting digestive health over time. For seniors with existing gastrointestinal conditions, this disruption can worsen symptoms progressively. Acesulfame potassium, often listed as ACE-K on labels, has raised concerns in animal studies about potential effects on metabolism and insulin response. While human studies remain limited, the precautionary principle suggests caution, especially for seniors already managing metabolic conditions and taking multiple medications. But the sweeteners are just one concern with this brand. Atkins shakes contain maltitol, a sugar alcohol that can cause significant digestive distress in many people. Bloating, gas, cramping, and diarrhea are common complaints from maltitol consumption reported across forums and reviews. The body does not fully absorb sugar alcohols during digestion. The unabsorbed portion ferments in the gut, producing uncomfortable and sometimes painful symptoms. For seniors with sensitive digestive systems, one Atkins shake can mean hours of digestive misery. Heavy metal testing has also flagged Atkins products for contamination. Lead and cadmium appear in measurable quantities, consistent with the contamination patterns seen across the entire protein shake industry. The low-carb positioning does not exempt Atkins from the same manufacturing issues that affect competitors. The taste of Atkins shakes is intensely sweet, despite the low sugar content. Artificial sweeteners are hundreds of times sweeter than sugar by weight, so even small amounts create powerful sweetness signals. Your brain registers reward while your gut processes chemicals. It was never evolved to handle properly. The disconnect between taste and biology creates confusion in your metabolic systems. Atkins markets directly to weight-conscious consumers, including seniors concerned about diabetes and heart health. The low-carb message feels medically validated and trustworthy. Doctors have recommended low-carb diets for blood sugar management for years, but a low-carb shake filled with artificial sweeteners, sugar alcohols, and heavy metals is not the same as a low-carb diet of real food. The shake hijacks the credibility of legitimate dietary advice to sell a processed product. Ever notice how the same companies that fund heart-healthy studies are the ones selling ultra-processed junk to consumers? The Atkins brand generates hundreds of millions in annual revenue. They have the resources to create genuinely clean, low-carb nutrition products. Instead, they rely on cheap sweeteners, questionable additives, and ingredient sourcing that allows heavy metal contamination to persist. Do not go yet. The solution comes at the very end, and it could change how you shop forever. And the #1 worst meal replacement shake is Glucerna. Glucerna markets itself specifically to people with diabetes. The packaging prominently features blood sugar management claims on every bottle. The company, Abbott Laboratories, positions Glucerna as a medical nutrition product designed for one of the most vulnerable populations. Seniors managing chronic blood sugar conditions trust this product implicitly. If any meal replacement shake should be safe, trustworthy, and genuinely health-promoting, it should be Glucerna. Instead, Glucerna represents perhaps the most disturbing betrayal on this entire list. Let us start with what Glucerna actually contains. The primary carbohydrate source is maltodextrin. This is the same ingredient found in the cheapest, most processed foods on the market today. Maltodextrin has a higher glycemic index than table sugar. It spikes blood glucose rapidly and dramatically. A product marketed to diabetics contains an ingredient that spikes blood sugar faster than sugar itself. How is this even possible in a diabetes product? Abbott relies on a technicality. Glucerna uses a slow-release carbohydrate blend that theoretically moderates the overall glycemic response over time. But independent testing and consumer experiences tell a different story. Many diabetics report blood sugar spikes after consuming Glucerna, the exact opposite of what the product promises to deliver. The ingredient list continues to raise serious concerns. Fructose appears prominently in the formula. While fructose has a lower glycemic index than glucose, it places additional strain on the liver. For seniors with fatty liver disease, metabolic syndrome, or liver complications from medications, added fructose is a burden their organ does not need. Artificial flavors and corn-based ingredients round out the formula. Glucerna tastes sweet and smooth, engineered to appeal to taste preferences shaped by decades of processed food consumption. The familiar sweetness masks the industrial nature of the ingredients. Heavy metal contamination affects Glucerna just as it affects other Abbott products. The same manufacturing processes, the same ingredient sourcing, the same quality control failures. Lead and cadmium accumulate in your body while you trust that a diabetes management product is protecting your health. Consider the population Glucerna targets. Diabetics are often seniors over 60. They frequently have comorbid conditions like kidney disease, heart disease, and neuropathy. Their bodies are already stressed by chronic illness and multiple medications. Adding a daily shake loaded with blood sugar spiking maltodextrin, liver-straining fructose, and heavy metal contamination is not management. It is mismanagement disguised as medical nutrition. Abbott charges premium prices for Glucerna products. Insurance sometimes covers it as a medical expense. Doctors recommend it because Abbott's marketing has positioned the product as clinically validated nutrition. But clinical validation funded by the manufacturer is not independent science. It is marketing research designed to generate approving studies. Why are seniors targeted with diabetes-friendly labels that hide blood sugar spiking ingredients? The answer is profit. Glucerna generates enormous revenue precisely because it targets a desperate population willing to pay for anything that promises blood sugar control. You trusted Glucerna because your doctor trusted it, because the packaging looked medical, because Abbott positioned itself as a healthcare company rather than a food company. But the ingredient list does not lie. Maltodextrin does not care about marketing claims. It spikes blood sugar because that is what maltodextrin does chemically. Glucerna is not diabetes management. It is metabolic sabotage wrapped in clinical branding. Now, here are the 2 meal replacement shakes that are actually safe. The first safe option is Kate Farms Nutrition Shake. Kate Farms began as a mission-driven company, founded by a family desperate to find clean nutrition for their medically fragile daughter. That origin story matters because it shaped every formulation decision the company made. Kate Farms was not created to maximize profit margins. It was created to provide genuinely safe nutrition for people with serious health needs. The ingredient list reflects this mission clearly. Kate Farms uses organic pea protein as its primary protein source. This is plant-based, hypoallergenic, and significantly less likely to contain heavy metal contamination than whey or soy concentrates. Pea protein is naturally lower in the contaminants that plague dairy and rice-based competitors. Third-party testing confirms the cleanliness of Kate Farms products. Kate Farms products have consistently tested low for heavy metals in independent laboratory analyses. The company voluntarily submits to testing that goes beyond FDA requirements because founder transparency was built into the brand from the very beginning. The sugar content is genuinely low, around 5 grams per serving, with no added sugars. The sweetness comes from organic coconut sugar and natural flavors rather than artificial sweeteners or sugar alcohols. For seniors managing blood glucose, this means steady energy without the spikes and crashes other brands cause. Kate Farms avoids the common inflammatory ingredients found in mainstream meal replacements. No corn syrup solids, no maltodextrin, no industrial seed oils. The fat comes from coconut oil and medium-chain triglycerides, which provide clean energy without promoting inflammation. The texture is smooth without being artificially so. The vanilla flavor tastes like actual vanilla rather than a chemical approximation. The chocolate version contains real cocoa. Your taste buds register food because you are consuming something much closer to actual food. Kate Farms is more expensive than mass-market competitors. The clean ingredients cost more. The third-party testing costs more. The quality control costs more. But for seniors whose kidneys are processing decades of accumulated toxins, whose hearts are managing chronic conditions, and whose livers are already busy metabolizing medications, the price difference is an investment in genuine health rather than a contribution to corporate profit. Kate Farms started as a solution for a sick child. It remains a solution for anyone who needs nutrition they can actually trust. The second safe option is OWYN plant-based protein shake. OWYN stands for only what you need. The company takes that philosophy seriously. The ingredient list is remarkably short compared to mainstream competitors. No artificial sweeteners, no sugar alcohols, no industrial additives designed to extend shelf life at the expense of your health. OWYN uses a protein blend of pea protein, pumpkin seed protein, and flaxseed. This combination provides complete amino acid coverage without relying on soy, dairy, or rice. These are the ingredients most commonly associated with heavy metal contamination in protein products. Independent testing has consistently shown Owen products to be among the cleanest in the meal replacement category. Heavy metal levels fall well below concerning thresholds. The company publishes its testing results publicly, inviting scrutiny rather than hiding behind proprietary formulations. The sugar content is minimal, around 4 grams per serving with no added sugars. The sweetness comes from monk fruit extract, a natural sweetener that does not spike blood sugar or disrupt gut bacteria the way artificial sweeteners can. For seniors managing diabetes or prediabetes, monk fruit provides sweetness without metabolic consequences. Owen is also free from the major allergens that can complicate senior nutrition. No dairy, no soy, no tree nuts, no gluten. This matters enormously for seniors managing multiple food sensitivities or taking medications that interact with certain foods. The taste is clean and straightforward. The vanilla is mild rather than overwhelmingly sweet. The chocolate version tastes like cocoa rather than artificial flavoring. The texture is smooth without the artificially thick consistency that signals thickening agents and emulsifiers. OWYN costs more per serving than mainstream brands, but the value equation favors your health rather than their profit margins. Every ingredient serves a purpose. Nothing is added to cut costs or extend shelf life at your expense. For seniors who want plant-based nutrition without heavy metal contamination, blood sugar spikes, or digestive disruption, Owen delivers exactly what the name promises. Only what you need, and nothing that could harm you. Not all meal replacement shakes are created equal. Some can silently damage the organs you are trying to protect. Now you know which 9 brands to avoid and which 2 are actually safe for daily use. Your body deserves better than hidden poisons in a bottle. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.